Hello, class, and hello, Dr. Tina. My name is Noel Clark, and I'm going to be presenting on issues involving LGBTQ youth and homelessness. And here's an introduction. Here's the second slide. And firstly, it outlines the overarching goal of our presentation, which is to explore strategies for addressing diversity and oppression within the context of social work. This goal underscores the critical role that social work plays in addressing complex social problems that stem from systematic issues. Secondly, the slide emphasizes our commitment to examining our chosen social problem from a systems framework. This approach is vital because it enables us to view the problem in a comprehensive manner, recognizing the interactive web of factors and stakeholders involved. Thirdly, we underscore the significance of social work in addressing diversity and oppression. Social work is uniquely positioned to engage with and advocate for the marginalized communities, making it essential for professions in the fight for equality and social justice. Lastly, the slide provides a clear structure for our presentation, guiding the audience through the topics we will cover. This not only offers a roadmap for the audience, but also ensures that they are aware of the flow and organization of this presentation. In summary, I just want to have a focus on systems thinking, the importance of social work, and outlines the forthcoming content, setting the tone for an informed and engaging discussion. Thank you. I'm going to go to the third slide. And here we have a description of the conceptualizing problem. Okay. And first and foremost, it initiates our exploration by presenting the social problem of the core discussion, homelessness among LGBTQ youth, which is conceptualized within the systems framework. This slide goes on to assert that homelessness among LGBTQ youth is not a solitary issue, but one deeply entrenched in systematic factors. It underscores the imperative of recognizing this systematic dimension as it serves as the bedrock of our understanding and approach. Importantly, this slide highlights the stark disproportionality of homelessness among LGBTQ youth. The inequity showcases the urgent need for targeted interventions that address the unique vulnerabilities of this population. Furthermore, by advocating for a systems perspective, the slide invites us to delve beyond surface level manifestations of the problem and uncover its root causes. These systematic factors, as noted on the slide, include family rejection and discrimination. And here we have all the factors. Moving on to slide 4, which is cultural diversity and social justice concerns. This slide speaks to the deeper key cultural diversity and social justice concerns related to homelessness among LGBTQ youth. These concerns are pivotal in understanding the complexity in the issue and the urgency of addressing the problem. This slide underscores the social justice concern, which revolves around the lack of LGBTQ affirming services for homelessness youth. In summary, this sheds the light on the cultural diversity and social justice concerns at the heart of our discussion, emphasizing the imperative of addressing them in any effective intervention to combat homelessness amongst the LGBTQ youth. Next slide. So here are some previous efforts. These initiatives, while intentioned, have these initiatives, while well-intentioned, have often provided general support falling to adequately address the unique needs of LGBTQs. Research findings as cited from assessing the impact of previous interventions emphasize the necessity of specialized LGBTQ youth shelters. It's essential to recognize the limitation of past approaches without tailored interventions that consider the specific challenges faced by LGBTQ youth. Efforts to combat homelessness in this population may fall short. This understanding is pivotal as we move forward in developing strategies for change that address the root causes and unique circumstances of homelessness among LGBTQ youth. Next slide. And here we're just going to go through the goals of the objectives, the goals and objectives of the proposed intervention. First, goal 1 is to establish LGBTQ affirming shelters in major cities. Securing funding for shelter development, recognizing that financial support is crucial in the establishment of safe spaces tailored to LGBTQ youth. Secondly, we want to implement cultural competent training for shelter staff to ensure that care provided is inclusive and sensitive to unique needs of LGBTQ youth. Lastly, just to summarize, these goals and objectives align with strategies outlined in the literature from strategies for addressing LGBTQ youth homelessness. They emphasize the importance of providing safe spaces for LGBTQ youth, the need of adequate funding, and the significance of cultural competent training as steps towards achieving this vision. Next slide. Next, we have just a continuation of the goals. And goal 2 is to create a national LGBTQ youth homelessness prevention program. These objectives are actionable strategies that align with our vision of creating a national program to prevent LGBTQ youth homelessness. They emphasize the importance of proactive measures and early intervention in achieving this crucial goal. The first objective being developing an outreach and support network. The second goal would be key focuses on preventing homelessness, with key parts being early intervention that can reduce homelessness altogether. Next slide. All right, we have justification of proposed interventions. Okay, here we have the fact that the LGBTQ youth experiences unique challenges in homelessness populations. Implications. The interventions align with the social work values of equity and inclusivity. The implications of our interventions align seamlessly with core social work values of equity and inclusivity. Social work is deeply rooted in principles of social justice and cultural competence, emphasizing the ethical imperative to address the distinct needs of marginalized populations. Next slide. I'm sorry. And in the description, we have all of the statistics involved with what goes on with this population, as far as the percentage of individuals being forced to have sex, exchange sex for basic needs, and amongst other things, in comparison to members that are not of the LGBTQ community. Next slide. All right, and here's the steps needed to implement the change. The first step of our intervention strategy involves securing funding and establishing community partnerships. The second step involves highlighting the importance of collaboration. Step 1 underscores the importance of collaboration, community engagement, and financial support as foundational elements for the successful implementation of our intervention, aligning with our broader goal of addressing the LGBTQ homelessness. Next slide. Okay, so we have a continuation of the steps needed to implement the change. And in step 2, we're focusing on establishing the LGBTQ affirming shelters with key stakeholders being shelter staff and LGBTQ youth, being the state. I'm sorry, being with key stakeholders being the shelter staff and LGBTQ youth. Youth involvement is a critical aspect and ensures that the shelters are designed with their perspective and needs in mind so that we have the individuals that are being provided services understanding that the services that they're being provided had them in mind when being created. Next slide. The third step is developing prevention programs and outreach engagement strategies, which involve collaborations with schools, LGBTQ centers, and emphasizing proactive outreach. Proactive outreach is an essential theme, highlighting the importance of actively seeking at-risk LGBTQ youth before they become homeless, as mentioned earlier. Engaging educational institutions such as schools is essential in identifying and supporting LGBTQ youth who may be experiencing family rejections and discriminations. I myself have witnessed this happen with members of my family, which has motivated me greatly to shed more light to this issue. Next slide. The evaluation of proposed change based effort. Okay, first we have the assess success through reduced LGBTQ youth homelessness rates. The evaluation of our intervention is critical in assessing the success in reducing the homelessness of this community. To measure progress, we will employ specific metrics, including tracking shelter utilization of the youth, reintegration, and into stable living situations, and the impact of our prevention programs. In essence, the evaluation phase is essential for assessing the effectiveness of our intervention, aligning with our broader objective of reducing the homelessness of this community and maintaining a sense of accountability of our efforts. Next slide. Data plays a pivotal role in decision-making throughout our intervention strategy. As discussed earlier, we would like to emphasize the role of data in decision-making by way of discussing the importance of collecting accurate and reliable data. We would like to highlight the need for data-driven decision-making. Also, we would like to discuss the continuation of the improvement process. The continuation of the improvement process is central to our approach. Ongoing assessments and feedback mechanisms are essential to inform necessity adjustments. Regular reviews of our initiatives help identify areas for enhancement. Lastly, external evaluation also plays a significant role in our accountability efforts involving independent evaluators, ensures unbiased assessments, enhancing the credibility of our interventions and reinforcing our commitment to transparency and accountability in addressing the LGBTQ youth homelessness issue. Next slide. All right, here's the reflection on professional development. First, why choose this social problem? Okay. This is near and dear to my heart. As I said earlier, I had a cousin that was very close to me that has essentially lost contact with our family. It's been extremely difficult to find him. He goes by her now, and it breaks my heart because I now have children, and I understand that children just want to be loved. And it's just sad to know that my cousin is out there and hopefully he's doing okay, he's healthy, but at the end of the day, I know that he would love to have been accepted by our family. I chose this social problem of the LGBTQ youth homelessness because of personal motivations and connections to the LGBTQ community. Witnessing the struggles faced by LGBTQ youth, including discrimination, family rejection, and the higher risk of homelessness, fueled my determination to make a difference. Throughout this quarter, my understanding of this issue has depended significantly on coursework and research have provided key insights in the systematic factors contributing to the LGBTQ homelessness and the importance of targeted interventions. I've learned that creating change requires a comprehensive approach focusing on prevention, LGBTQ comprehensive approach, affirming shelters, and outreach. My thinking has evolved to recognize the urgent need for cultural competent care and the importance of involving LGBTQ youth in decision making. I've gained a more nuanced perspective on the biases and assumptions that can influence this work, acknowledging that the need to confront and address these biases ensure equitable and effective interventions. In summary, my personal motivations coupled with the insights I've gained from coursework and research have led to more comprehensive and informed approach to addressing the LGBTQ youth homelessness with a heightened awareness of biases and assumptions that can impact this critical work. Next slide. Personal connections hold the power to ignite a passionate commitment to social work. In my case, these connections to the LGBTQ community have been a driving force behind my advocacy for addressing LGBTQ youth homelessness. Learning and education have further fueled this passion by providing a deeper understanding of the complexities surrounding this issue. As I've dealt in coursework and research, my thinking has evolved from a surface level awareness to a more nuanced and comprehensive perspective. I now recognize the necessity of culturally competent and youth inclusive interventions in the combating homelessness among LGBTQ youth. Moreover, this journey has highlighted the critical importance of self-awareness regarding biases. Effective social work practice demands that we confront and address our own biases to ensure that our interventions are equitable and genuinely impactful. In essence, personal connections, ongoing learning, evolving perspectives, and self-awareness of biases collectively shape a passionate and effective approach to addressing complex social issues like the LGBTQ youth homelessness. In conclusion, next slide. It is imperative to underscore the significance of addressing diversity and oppression within the realm of social work. Our intervention strategy centered on combating LGBTQ youth homelessness exemplifies the potential for the positive change throughout systematic interventions. Thank you. Here are my references.